Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to the channel where we talk about economics and crypto and lots of other fun things. In today's video, I want to try to give you a picture of what I think is coming next for Bitcoin. And all right, when are we going to peak? When are we going to see it? Or maybe even just a local top? I have some thoughts on that based off some things that I'm seeing and some other people's thoughts around the interwebs as well. But before we dive on into that, do me a favor, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you have not already, and all the stuff. Do all the stuff, please. Thank you. All right, let's go ahead and dive on into this. So I've seen lots of people tweeting about this, and of course, I've talked about this on this channel. The 7-year trend line, it is just such a significant moment for Bitcoin that a move like this, a breakthrough, a level of resistance like this does not then equate to, okay, Bitcoin's going to go to 125,000, that will be it. No, Bitcoin will most likely be going higher from here. Now, short term, I would say I'll be happy to lay out a worst case scenario, but this is what we have right now. So broken above the 7-year trend line. I've shown that same chart on TradingView. I tend to think that worst case scenario, what comes next would be a back test of this trend line. And so what's the back test? It's around $114,000. That would make sense. That would put us, fill the CME gap and then bounce higher from there. In my opinion, worst case, at the moment I'm making that video, that's another $5,000 drop from here. That's what we call Tuesday in crypto. That kind of thing can happen and it's okay. We'll survive if something like that happens. Okay, so with that in mind, again, that does not necessarily mean that we have to backtest this trend line now. I mean, given how violent of a breakout we had, not necessarily that's what's going to happen. If I'm going to open a long, if I'm looking for an ideal place to open a long, that's where it's going to be. But eventually, yes, we will backtest that trend line and probably go below it, I would think, in the next bear market. Most likely, yeah, for sure. But for now, very likely that the next move is a move up. Okay, so how long do we have during this next move up? I tend to, based off of different things that I'm seeing, and is this the peak? Let's just see how euphoric things get, okay? But I tend to think it's a matter of weeks, maybe a couple months from here, before Bitcoin hits its next peak. And then if this is accompanied by a significant move in altcoins, in my opinion, there's a possibility that could be it for 2025. All right? Don't be scared about that. Be excited, potentially, that we would see some pretty explosive moves here. So a couple of things that I found compelling as far as answering this question we have from Decode here, and I'm probably going to make a short form video talking about this. Bitcoin spends about the same. This is this cycle. This cycle has been a lot different than previous cycles. So from Decode, Bitcoin spends about the same amount of time going up as it does consolidating in this cycle, 21 weeks on average, and 21 weeks forward from the most recent low suggests this move would complete in circa 8 weeks at the end of August. That is if the current stair-step pattern persists. So this is a feature of this cycle that is not typical and has not featured in any previous cycle. It is a taking of the stairs higher. And where do we go from here? We go higher for perhaps another 8 weeks. And so you can see this 21 weeks, 21 or so weeks of upward movement followed by 21 or so weeks of consolidation, 21 or so weeks of upward movement followed by 21 or so weeks of consolidation. And here we are, week 13 of up. And where do we go from here? I mean, according to this, we could go as high as $180,000. 2.618 retrace, 155. Kind of sticks out to me. Maybe that would be a place where Bitcoin goes. I think that there is a significant possibility that we will see Bitcoin at $130,000 very soon. And that's the fun thing about price discovery. There's very little resistance when you break through all the resistance. So we'll see, maybe that's it. Maybe it is really just 8 more weeks. There's a possibility, guys, that it is just 8 more weeks left of any form of excitement for a while. But then that if we see those 8 weeks be just off the charts insane, then I am thinking, yeah, it might be only 8 weeks left, believe it or not. It tends to happen really quickly when we reach euphoria. So another thing here from CryptoFace. CryptoFace is a very successful trader. This might be the first time I've ever mentioned him in a video, but okay, let's see if the new Bitcoin weekly candle holds this shape for a day or so. The gates are open, and a $150,000 Bitcoin within or by 14 days is a very, very possible / likely thing. See ya in 2 weeks. Okay, so this is this Bitcoin weekly candle. He posted this on Sunday, middle of the day on Sunday. Or early Sunday, excuse me. Not early Sunday, forgive me. Late Sunday, when 8 p.m. Eastern time or 7 p.m. Eastern time. I don't remember because of daylight savings. But late Sunday, let's see Bitcoin really just close the week at $119,000. This is what he's saying. And after that would mean that we would see potentially $150,000 Bitcoin. So we have 5 more days left in this week. It's something to pay attention to. But I am of a similar mindset right now, that what we have is most likely from here something pretty explosive. It's what makes sense. After breaking through a 7-year level of resistance, and then another exciting thing, just seeing Bitcoin dominance. It does look bearish divergence on Bitcoin dominance. There is a lot of potential right now for something pretty explosive moving forward here. Bitcoin dominance. Okay, altcoin Gordon. Bitcoin dominance just broke down. Weekly MACD flipped bearish divergence. Like I said, last time this happened, ETH went vertical. XRP hit all-time high. Junk coins printed 5 to 10x like it was normal. It is not a dream anymore. The signal is flashing loud and clear. Loud and clear. If you're still waiting, you're already behind. You should be in. You should have been in by now. I will say that. But again, what are we doing right now? We are monitoring. Bitcoin having an explosive move is very likely. Altcoins outperforming Bitcoin, that is the thing that if that happens, I'm saying goodbye. I'm taking a lot of profits. And then we'll see, Bitcoin dominance plummeting down below 50%. Or, man, I don't even know down below 60%. Whatever. If it were to go to below 50%, absolutely game over. We're not going to see an opportunity like that for certainly the rest of 2025, maybe not 2026. We'll see. But Bitcoin dominance looks good. Bitcoin looks good. Altcoins look good. XRP looks very good. Ethereum looks good. It's a good time to be holding crypto. Not interested in selling even a little bit right now. Next. Charlie, I thought this was interesting. Gold and Bitcoin are now the top performing major assets so far in 2025. We've never seen these two in the number 1 and 2 spots for any calendar year. A sign of the times. A sign of the times? ? I would say a sign of the times. And what is that? That's a damning statement on the US dollar. And we have gold. So gold is, as of right now, the number 1 performing asset in 2025 with a 27.7% return. Bitcoin is number 2 right behind it, 25.9%. It's pretty funny looking at 2011 to 2025 cumulative, 39 million %, a 39 million % increase for Bitcoin. So in annual returns for Bitcoin between 2011 and 2025, 143%. My goodness. But okay, for 2025, Bitcoin and gold, US dollar. Ew. Yikes. The US dollar now, the dollar index, I can't show it to you on this chart. It is at a major 15-year level of support, this right around 96. But if we were to lose that support, that 15-year level of support, my goodness, it's going to be insane. So we'll have to wait and see on that. But this is quite a negative statement on the dollar. And also, did you know that Bitcoin hit a new all-time high in the dollar, but not in, for example, the Swiss franc? So maybe that should temper our expectations a little bit. Not temper our expectations, but let us not celebrate a little too much when the dollar is doing what it's doing right now. But anyway, let's move on. I actually wanted to play this or show this one a little earlier than what I'm doing now, but it's okay. Whenever I think I'm too late to Bitcoin, I look at this chart and then I buy more. Now, I want to be clear about something. It's just something to keep in mind. There are people who are absolutely convinced, and I don't understand the logic behind this, that Bitcoin should equal one day all the assets in the world, that it should be a 1-to-1 comparison. So total global asset value, $900 trillion. Bitcoin is at $200 trillion. That is a 450x. If global total asset value stayed the same, which it wouldn't, it would go much higher. And so where do we go from here? Is that possible? It's something that I've heard people say. I don't understand. I'm just bringing this to your attention to let you know that there's people who believe that this is inevitable. What do we say with it? I don't know. So we'll see. That sounds good to me, but we will see. Let's move on. S&P 500. This is a perspective shifter. I don't know how to say it. Okay. Peter Maluk, including dividends, the S&P 500 has now gained 1,170% since the March 2009 low, despite 30 corrections of greater than 5%. In this quote from Peter Lynch, it just hits me hard. Far more money has been lost by investors preparing for corrections or trying to anticipate corrections than has been lost in corrections themselves. So earlier this year, April of 2025, it looked like it was over because the tariffs were going to change. It was a new world order. The tariffs were going to change everything. And here we are, we've done a V-shaped recovery. And this was one of the rare times when retail outperformed Main Street, or Wall Street, excuse me. Retail outperformed Wall Street. So, here's the reasons for all the dumps in the stock market over the last 15 plus years. Terrorists, recession fears, war, inflation, and yet here we are. COVID, and yet here we are. So my mindset has always been with stocks, I want to buy and hold. I never want to sell. I want to buy good stocks and hold them forever. With crypto, much different mindset, much different mindset. So speaking of stocks, something that I just really resonated with this post because I'm early on in my dividend journey. I have probably about $15,000 to $20,000 worth of dividend yielding stocks and ETFs. And I'm probably in the either, this is nothing or still nothing phase, maybe a trickle at best. I just, I want to see more, I want to get to a point where I could make a living off of my dividend holdings. And I'm not anywhere near there yet. I don't even know how much I make a month in dividends. It's under $1,000 for sure, which I should be happy about that, I'm sure. But really fascinating perspective here. And I'd strongly recommend, what if you could buy dividend yielding stocks and you never sell those stocks? You just, you live off the dividends, or ETFs. There's fantastic tools that exist out there. And so this is the progress. What am I doing? This is nothing, still nothing, a trickle at best. Maybe I was wrong. Everyone else is winning. Still not enough. Something. Amazing, incredible, OMG, WT, ... Rich AF. I am trying to progress along with this. And so, I have my dividend TikTok account. I've been getting very excited about this. When I cash out of crypto, I want to put it into two things. I want to put it into gold miners, and I want to put it into dividend yielding crypto or stocks and ETFs. And so this is inspiring to me, and not financial advice. I think it's a good direction to go, to where, you could get to that point. So there's a lot of accounts that I've been following that they are at that point, and it's very motivating. But anyway, that is all I have for today. I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful rest of your week, and I will certainly be seeing you in another video. Peace.